So I went to see Obsession today. Amazing movie, first of all. And when I was coming out the cinema around like 8 o'clock, I noticed that there was a large amount of police on the streets of Glasgow. So my chronically online ass thought, wow, that new Sidemen restaurant must be a hit. The new Sides restaurant in St Enoch was opening today. Then we weren't allowed out of St Enoch Centre for a bit, so I thought, okay, that's weird. So I come to find out, as soon as I step outside, that people are marching down the streets, some with Scotland flags. So of course, I thought, wow, the World Cup is really an amazing thing, bringing everyone together. But nope, they were racists. If you don't know, a man was arrested in Belfast earlier today for a stabbing attack. It turns out that the man was from Sudan. So as you probably expect by this point, immediately calls for protests sparked on social media. And surprise, surprise, the racists of Glasgow came out in full force. Now, I like to think amazing things about the city. I'm a massive fan and I genuinely think it's amazing. But on days like this, it genuinely can make anyone feel ashamed to be from the same country as these people. It actually blows my mind how people can be so manipulated by genuine propaganda. Because we all know the reason isn't that they actually care about mass immigration. It's because they want an excuse to take to the streets and attack anyone who isn't white. There are videos going around on social media, I can't independently verify them, but they are there, of gangs of people who look to be around 16 to 20 years old, attacking people in Glasgow. Just for being a different colour, especially around the River Clyde area. I personally witnessed them knocking down barriers under the Central Bridge and setting off firecrackers or something else with an explosive sound. Police didn't disperse them either, and there were nowhere near enough officers to sort the situation out. So why weren't more sent out? Chanting "send them back" as you walk down the streets isn't solving anything, and it's certainly not stopping any crime. It's just their excuse to do what they're doing and instill fear into people who aren't white. Not just people who aren't white, because these are the type of people who women cover their drinks around. And the big problem is that people like Tommy Robinson and Nigel Farage will tout this as a great example of white people standing together, and that is literally a major problem. These are two people with, sadly, a lot of influence in the UK, and them taking this harmful stance is exactly what continues to send this country downhill. They were also rocking about next to Buchanan Galleries with banners that say "Start to resist or cease to exist." That slogan in itself is dystopian, but let's not forget what the Nazis did. They segregated Jews from society, cut them out of the economy, and then forced them to leave the country. Or fucking killed them! Are you seeing the resemblance? Because it's very, very obvious. And just imagine the outrage if a protest was started every time a white person committed a crime. We wouldn't be able to keep jobs, hobbies, or a social life because we'd be non-fucking stop. The government need to step in, and the police need to act. Anyone attending these horrific protests masked up in their gimpy balaclavas, they genuinely need to have the full force of the law brought down on them, but I don't have faith that that's going to happen. Because we do have two-tier policing, and it's certainly helping racists. People want an excuse to kill anyone who isn't white. Oh yeah, and by the way, if you're so passionate about keeping Britain safe, like you claim to be, then why don't you speak about the fact that Glasgow women are now spending more time than ever in temporary accommodation due to domestic violence and abuse? Right. Because they don't actually care about women or girls or anyone else that they claim to. They are just maniacs with a taste for blood. Rant over. These people need to fuck off out of Glasgow.